And beaming in a heart share to talk about self-advocacy because I am so damn good at speaking up for others. If I see something happening that's within 10 meters of me that I know is unacceptable, that I know is dishonoring or harming another human being, I will speak up, I will take action, I will move forward. But when it comes to speaking up for ourselves, it's another story. Today, I'm opening up about my own personal challenge with self-advocacy, why it's so essential for us, and the excruciating level of fear and pain that I'm willing to pass through in order to give this to myself. Backstory: one of the most pivotal relationships from my past with my birth family involved a relationship where my deep knowing was continually dishonored, rejected, unheard, and disregarded. And what that meant was that in order to keep peace in the home, I needed to fold, surrender, and actually take the fallout. So I would accept responsibility for the conflict, I would retract my statement, and I would actually presume that I was wrong in order for an amicable relationship. Now, what happened as a consequence of that was that I have a deep internal story that I am wrong because there were so many decades of personal concession on my behalf where I retracted words, where I went back on what I said, where I chose to admit and falsify my own error in order to placate and pacify the other party. Now, this erodes the power and light in our soul. My goodness, many of you know my dark, dark past with, overeating and undereating, eating disorders, self-loathing, self-rejection. And I've realized this was actually really at the core of a lot of the mess for me, was that I didn't know how to validate myself. I didn't know how to authorize my own feelings. Now, for maybe the last 10 years, particularly after I've had children, like a fierce mama gonna advocate for her babies. I'm gonna speak up, I'm gonna let it be known that something is not right and I'll do something about it. But when it comes to speaking up for myself, I have delayed, denied, or retracted once again. Last year, I had a haircut and it was a terrible experience. My hair was half cut and I just wanted to walk out, and I couldn't deal with needing to leave, and so I just sat and put up with it, which was an error on my behalf. I'll never do that again. It took me 3 months to call that hair salon and put in an anonymous complaint about the hairdresser. The girl taking the call said, "Oh, I know who cut your hair." I shared a few small remarks, and she said, "We are so sorry to hear about this." And I said, "I'm not here for an apology. I'm here so that the owner knows I'm never coming back to your salon. And this individual, she is behaving in such a dishonorable, disrespectful way. She would pull my hair. She would debate with me around the cut and the color that I wanted. She told me I was wrong." No hairstylist that wants to stay employed or in business should ever do this. And the girl very graciously said, "Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate your courage." Now, when she acknowledged that it was courageous for me to speak up, I think something sparked in me because it took me 3 freaking months. Do you know what I mean? You kind of go, am I an adult, or am I just going to sit under a rock and let people disrespect me and get away with it? No. So I went ahead and I did that. And then at Christmas, I really needed to speak up and advocate to a family member. And their cruel remarks were unacceptable. 2 initial responses: a scathing, cruel email that I was going to send that was cutting and harsh, basically matching the same energy, or a diplomatic, soft, concessional reply that I knew would eat away at my bones. I decided neither of those was an appropriate response, and I actually decided to communicate to that person, "I'm no longer in a position to communicate with you, and unfortunately, I need space, and I'm going to block you." And I blocked her. Very, very important to understand that when people can't hear you, when they can't hold you in high regard, and when your sense of self-worth is so deflated and flimsy by the end of the exchange, we can't afford to keep these people in our lives. Very interestingly, I hired a professional for a particular kind of consultation. I showed up, she was late, she wasn't prepared, and she didn't serve me. And once again, the fierce anger that rises in our belly, I really, really made time and space to acknowledge it, but it was demanding that I tell her. And so I took to email and I said, I was really disappointed with the quality of your service. You were late, you were not prepared, and I did not get what I wanted. And I said, I'm not here asking for a refund, not that there's anything wrong with that. But it was such a big deal for me to even ask for someone to hear me say this was not okay. I was scared, but I didn't know that person. They lived on the other side of the world. So it felt once again like a safe choice to start advocating where I could for myself. I've been doing this for years, but there's those ones that are really, really hard to do anything about. And so I went and I did that. And then I got a reply. And this person said, I am so terribly sorry to hear that you had such a poor experience with me. I want to let you know that I was having a really bad day. I didn't manage my time well. I was not prepared, and you deserve that. She had that word in her email reply to me, deserve. And for me, what it did was it started to reverse the story. When I was the person conceding and withdrawing my position in the past, and that was accepted, and the other person was happy to make me wrong, this woman admitted her error, apologized. She then continued, to say that I was worthy and deserving of a beautiful experience. She refunded me and then asked to do a redo so that I could get what I wanted. This is where you gotta go, like, if we don't engage in these gritty moments that are just so full of confrontation and resistance and dis-ease, life is just going to keep on being the same old thing that it's always been. That's not okay with me. No one gets to disregard me or disrespect me. I don't care who it is. And interestingly, ever since I spoke up to that person at Christmas, the key family member, it hasn't come up in my life. And I want to let you know that from this time forward, I give myself full permission to advocate for myself no matter what, and I want to extend that to you. Tell me what you think of this. Do you need to speak up for yourself? Do you need to self-advocate? I'm sending my love. I'm telling you what I am processing, what I'm in right now, because today I actually needed to send another communication to somebody that I felt disregarded me back in January, and it had been 6 weeks and I had tried to get over it. That fierce anger in my belly said, no, you speak up. And I'm like, but I don't even want anything. And I'm like, let us be heard. There is something very profoundly healing when we take action in our lives as adults to advocate for the child that resides within us. I want to let you know that my heart has been cleared, that once again that person received it graciously and they said, I'm so sorry, I never intended that. I knew she didn't intend it, but I knew that it happened nonetheless. And I needed to speak up and say it wasn't okay. You have to say it's not okay. It is not okay. This is not okay. Practice it with me now. I want to know how this reaches you. I hope that you are enjoying Valentine's. I've decided to celebrate Love Week by offering my heart healing book, The 13 Principles of Emotional Self-Healing, free for 5 days. I'm going to put the link into this description. It's only for 5 days. So if you're watching this video after that time, my ebooks are available on Kindle and Amazon. And self-advocacy is a key for us coming back to our power and our truth so that we can create the lives we're born to live. So much love and care to you, precious hearts.